Trevor Jung was sworn in as a Racine Alderman in April of 2019. At 23, he was the youngest Racine alderperson since the 1860s. Adopted from a Russian orphanage, he's been working on political campaigns since he was 12. He's a graduate of UWM. This year, I don't know if it's for the first time, but you're a delegate to the convention this year?
It is the first time, yeah. So I am pretty excited about, the opportunity to be a part of history. I think it's, a uniquely American story to say that this Russian orphan, is brought to the United States of America, and now he can participate in nominating somebody to be, the nominee for President of the United States. I think that's pretty special. And despite us not being in the halls together, I wanted my cheese hat on, with the Wisconsin delegation. But I think we'll all be home celebrating Joe Biden and his soon-to-be announced vice presidential nominee.
Do you have any inside knowledge on whether it's a she or who it is?
Well, the vice president early on committed to choosing a woman to be his running mate. And so, he's made that very clear that it's important to him to have a ticket that looks like the country. And so, whoever she is, I'm excited to support. I have no inside knowledge on who it's going to be, though.
So we hear about delegates and we see them on the floor of the arena, wherever they are, holding up the signs. So what else did delegates do during the week other than party?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, I'm learning a lot about that as I'm, receiving emails about what the expectations are. So there are caucuses that delegates participate in. So there's the Hispanic caucus, the African American caucus, the youth caucus, you name it, the progressive caucus. And so those caucuses help define what the platform is and the vision for the party will be going into the election. And so, having serious discussions about policy is just as important as promoting the nominee and, galvanizing the base to defeat Donald Trump and make Joe Biden president of the United States.
What are the most pressing issues of the electorate today and things that the Democrats should be paying attention to most seriously?
The spread of the coronavirus and a pandemic that's going unchecked is definitely on the forefront of people's minds. Our lives are completely different because the federal government thought that this would miraculously disappear, if I'm going to quote the president. And it hasn't, because you haven't had a serious response to this from the top down. And so you've had economies have to shut down. You've had, over 150,000 Americans' lives lost. And it's because the federal government and the Trump administration did not take responsibility. You're going to have a real comparison to make between somebody who doesn't take responsibility and someone who has a track record of making the country a better place. So the coronavirus is something that's serious. I would also say the character and the soul of this nation. Joe Biden talks about that all the time. Now over Zoom before we're on the campaign trail. And that is, really reflecting as Americans, what does it mean to live in this diverse country built by immigrants that has always fought, for the better angels of our nature, whether that be looking at, leaders throughout history who have, taken risks to improve the lives of people, like the civil rights movement, the suffrage movement. And that's what makes us American. And I think Donald Trump has reflected on what makes us American by, greed and selfishness in a Gordon Gekko style approach. And so you honestly have two very different visions for what it means to be an American. And I think we have not had an election where the decision has been so clear about what track we want to go down as a country and what it means to be a part of something greater than ourselves.
So what is your hope for America in the next 4 years?
I hope a reflection about how we handled the pandemic, in how we handle inequality during the Trump administration, and learning the lessons that we are currently missing right now. We see selfishness parade as freedom. We see bigotry parade as law and order. And I would hope that in the next 4 years, we as a country take the opportunity to reflect on how we can best be there for each other and how we can best show empathy to those who have different experiences than ourselves.
Join us on Milwaukee PBS Monday, August 17th at 4:30 p.m. and Friday, August 21st at 8 p.m. for Democratic National Convention specials. And stay tuned to the PBS NewsHour from 7 to 10 p.m. for convention coverage during the week of the convention.